starting this new day. Perfect. Day 3 of the 5-day quantum shift challenge. And today here with Camila, I wanted to invite her all these days to be with you so she can share one of these days and share all her amazing knowledge. And today is the day. So I'm very happy that you are here with us to inspire all of us into realizing how we all can experience our quantum shift and the extraordinary manifestations of it.
Beautiful. Hey, everyone. Thank you so much for having me. And I'm super excited to be here. Day 3 is a good day right in the middle of the challenge. So I'm looking forward to spending this time with you all. And welcome to those of you who are joining.
You continue while I am going to check here.
Excellent.
If this is working and the sound is going.
Yeah.
And the video is also working. So please let us know in any of the comments here on Zoom or in YouTube, also Facebook.
Alrighty, yeah.
How are sound and video working? You can see as well, you can hear as well.
Beautiful. Yes, streaming to so many amazing platforms right now, so we can all be connected. And this is really fantastic to be able to be all over the world and sharing now together in real time possibilities that are available to all of us. Yes, so beautiful. I imagine actually that we are kind of like this image, you know, each person who is here somehow is a beacon of light. You know, we are all light beings and searching for the best, wanting to be the best of ourselves. So this image is like all of us lighting up the planet.
Here we are. Awesome. Fantastic. Just wanted to make sure that it was working. Continue, please.
Oh yeah, we're just reflecting on that beautiful image and how I feel like that's all of us right now here all over the globe. And as we we plug into this wisdom, this knowledge that we all have access to, we are lighting up the grid of the planet, bringing more life, more vitality, more joy, more light. And it's beautiful.
Yes, you're right. This image is showing us actually this quantum shift that we are all journeying, you know, thriving. And we are here together because we want to do it, you know, to really take responsibility, to take the steps, to take control of our quantum shift, our evolution, our growth in a fast way, because that's the beauty about coming together by learning tools, learning practices that can simplify all these years, sometimes lifetimes of work, right? That's the quantum leap consciousness to be able to say, okay, you know, I don't want to waste more time, you know, trying to resolve these issues. I want to just finish it now so I can begin to enjoy my life and access all the beauty that being a human means, you know, and living in this world means. So we want to be that bridge, you know, and that is the quantum leap, to minimize, to shrink the distance between your present and your success. Success in all aspects, you know, as I mentioned yesterday, wealth, relationships, consciousness, spiritual evolution, health, love. So you can have it all. That's the beauty of this, is that you can have all of it because we deserve it. You know? And abundance exists in the universe. Life force, chi, prana is abundance, is a current that only wants our wellness and includes everything in the package, right? So when we jump into the train, into the current of prana or life force, and we feel that connection, that quantum connection towards that energy, right there, the benefits really show up, and we see the clues of life. For example, Cami, I wanted to invite you also today to share with us from a woman perspective, how you feel that you experience your quantum shift, when how was that process for you? It was a short time, it was a few months that took, or what kind of awakening or transformation or different perspective you acquired to start your quantum shift and the benefits of it?
Yeah, so good. Well, I'm happy to, yes, again, be able to be here and share with all of you from my perspective, my experience, and having, yes, been dedicated to my own path of self-development and, wanting to bring the best of myself to my life experience, and also not necessarily be shaped by all of my generations past. So I would say that actually throughout my lifetime, I have had a number of significant quantum shifts. I think each one built upon the previous one. I would say the first kind of conscious, awake quantum shift that I experienced was when I was about 19 years old. And it was a time of just deep awakening in my life. And I felt in many ways like lots of things were breaking, like a lot of things were crumbling down around me, but somehow I was able to maintain the awareness that it was a shift, it was a rebirth, it was kind of a step up in my evolution. So as certain things started to crumble, specifically I was seeing actually my health, my physical health, in kind of a questionable moment, we could say. I was having some symptoms, and specifically related to my womanhood. So my cycle was actually really strong and kind of excruciating. And so when I realized, like, wow, maybe I'm not fully in line with who I'm supposed to be, and where's this coming from? Taking a look at it outside of what maybe doctors and other people wanted to say about it or tell me how to navigate that experience, I understood that also I was carrying a lot of generational baggage. And this was just experiences that I think, well, I know that many families go through, many people. It doesn't really matter where you're from in the world or what generation you're from, or if you're a man or a woman, there are experiences that are kind of common in humanity. And I think a lot of those experiences come from that same momentum, like generations perpetuating. But we do have the possibility to cut those chains. So I'm talking about things like abuse and interfamilial dynamics, these things that really profoundly impact the lives of our children and our grandchildren, right? They're things that have lasting impacts. So I was in that kind of awakening from being a student, a young girl in my family, being a part of that family dynamic. I was evolving into my own person. So that kind of difficulty with my health was actually an opportunity for that first quantum shift in my life. And I would say that that was maybe the most difficult one because it involved my physical health, and it also required that my mindset be upgraded, that my emotional capacity be upgraded, and also healed a bit. So that was kind of a rough one, but a big leap in consciousness. And it took me into a time in my life where I was really able to start just being me, exploring my art and maybe things that I didn't have the support to do before. I started to find that support and independence in myself, that I could be the provider of my life experience too. And so then I would say probably every 5 years or so, there is some sort of shift, some sort of upgrade. And a lot of that has happened maybe 5 years after that. I became a mother. And so that was another huge quantum shift in transitioning from, the young adult woman into now the young adult woman who is a mother. And that's huge shifts in so many ways. But that was, again, a beautiful change. And it wasn't maybe as hard as the first quantum shift that I experienced those 5 years before. So I think actually, then again, another 5 years later, when and then in that next part of my life, I also experienced a huge upgrade as I shifted from one decade of my life into the next decade. So I can acknowledge that sometimes there are external influences that inspire our changes. Maybe we outgrow the environment, or we outgrow the expectations upon us. And that's an invitation to start to continue refining who we are and how we show up in the world and which roles we play in our environment.
This is awesome. So how I want to ask you some more questions.
Yeah, I could probably go in lots of directions here.
But that's interesting how in many cases I have seen this happen, that it is the body, the healing process, or the body going through something that requires attention, requires that we become more conscious, requires that we stop doing what we are doing that is damaging the body somehow, and the body kind of kick in for us to realize that we have to be more conscious, we have to awake, we have to do a quantum shift in our body, and as the body, as we go back to our body, then is when we begin to be more careful about how we treat our body, the way we care about our body, how we nourish, what kind of energy we put in, what kind of energy we emanate from our body. And that's when we begin to experience a quantum shift in the body, right? That is triggering the consciousness. And when the consciousness begins to open up through that quantum shift that is triggered by the body, then new layers of quantum shift begin to take place. That's what I was mentioning also yesterday, that one small quantum shift can be the gatekeeper for higher quantum shifts in our life. And also, as Camila mentioned, there is not just one quantum shift, there are many that as you grow, you keep evolving, you keep going to the next level and escalating in the stairs to success, to a better life, right? Yeah. And I want to talk about that later, about the roller coaster of life, and how many people is in the ups and downs, and there is no escalation. You got it? And how to begin to escalate instead of being in just the roller coaster of ups and downs of the life. Okay. So the quantum shift started, right, through the body as we're talking. But have you seen, like, for example, like your work or your relationships or all what you are like escalating via these quantum shifts that you mentioned that you are experiencing, and how you saw that, what kind of approach you took to continue escalating in these quantum shifts?
Yeah, well, that's actually, I think, solely up to us whether we take that shift upward and we choose to up level, or if we become maybe the victims of the difficulty that shift is. Because quantum shift sounds like a beautiful, like, explosion of light into a new experience, but with a shift always comes a little bit of growing pain, right? We have to maybe let past versions of ourselves go, or certain relationships or jobs, projects, there's things that we maybe say goodbye to as we upgrade into a new experience. So I think it very much depends on us and our perspective or ability to be resilient, to acknowledge maybe those challenges as opportunities to upgrade, that actually that's a sign that you're up leveling, right? But sometimes we don't have that perspective. Sometimes it's really hard to see a challenge as an opportunity, right? And So, I mean, definitely that first quantum shift that I experienced, and I think that this is also true for lots of people, was a lot to do with becoming independent of the generational programming again. So that physical kind of hardship that I was experiencing was directly related to a sort of lack of self-love, a real understanding of how to care for myself. Because, you know, my mother didn't have that, and her mother didn't have that knowledge. And I don't really know, but I think that spans back pretty far. And so that kind of experience in my health was a real opportunity to learn to fall in love with myself, to learn really how to take care of myself in the best way, and all the things that that involves, because that involves our physical health, but it also involves our mind, and it involves our feelings. And so that's a really powerful conjunction of factors. And it required me to really take a look at if I was loving myself or if I was the opposite. And so that allowed, I think, all of the other shifts, because I was able to see it as an upgrade. And from that shift, I came out of it more loving toward myself, more respectful of myself, more kind to myself, gentle to myself. So that kind of set the trajectory that it was going to take me upward. It was going to help me to continue evolving instead of taking that as a hardship and like letting it define me, or feeling like, oh, I'll never be able to change or reprogram those things, you know? So it was kind of a cross in the road. So I think that perspective has allowed me to continue to up level. And as I was able to love myself and respect myself, I was able to do that with the world around me, and it gave me more purpose. And it helped me to understand what I want to do in the world, and who also acknowledge the gifts, or maybe the talents or things that I have to offer as well. So that helped me to focus it, right? To focus that trajectory of evolution into well-being, we could say well-being for me, but also set an intention that maybe my presence or what I have to offer with the world also contribute to others' well-being. And so I do see how that helped for the quantum shifts to always be going in an upward, right? In an upward scale. I think that was a part of your question, right?
Yeah.
And then you had asked as well, like how I've seen that impact my work and things that I.
Your work, because what I was mentioning yesterday also is that these quantum shifts begin to also impact our life, you know, as we do changes within us, as we take different perspectives and we begin to see life with different eyes, and eyes with more self-confidence. We see through lenses of power, of having skills and commitment towards our goals. Then this begin to also impact the life, you know, and quantum shift also our life experience. And for example, you were working in an office, right? When we came, and then you decide to say, you were like, this is not for me. I want to change this. And you just went for your quantum shift towards your new passion. I mean, your passion that you had, but you just needed the quantum shift to say, okay, I'm going to just go all the way into this work that I really want to do. And how that quantum shift in your work have taken place, you know, that trust, because that's important. Remember that we talked yesterday also about coming from victimism to gain energy to begin to trust in yourself and have hope in yourself. And as you gain that hope, you take the steps, you know, to direct yourself towards those goals. But it requires the step, you know, requires a quantum shift to go towards that direction. And how was that for you?
Well, that was actually, I mean, that talking about quantum shifts being kind of like beautiful but painful, that was actually kind of a hard moment, you know, that time in life. It was requiring things maybe from me that um that I just felt required to do, you know. And so yeah, I stepped into an office job, and it was a good job and everything, mostly to kind of like return to the States and, you know, plant our feet solidly in the ground. And yeah, in that experience, it was beautiful. I was helping a lot of people and, you know, making steady income. And but then there were also those things that I felt kind of like, this isn't necessarily my path. You know, it's great, it's so good. I feel like somebody else would enjoy this job a lot more than, and maybe appreciate it more than I am. And for a long time, I think I've always been really interested and focused in kind of women's wellness. I love all people, men, women, they're all beautiful. I'm a woman too, you know, and so the kinds of experiences and just the life that I've had, I feel like it provides some wisdom, some opportunity for growth too. And so I had been a doula and facilitating women through, yeah, powerful evolutionary processes as well. But then I went into this experience of working into an office, and it was actually the best thing because it helped me to really define what I want to be doing and how I want to spend my time and my energy and my life and what I want to work and build toward, right? And so actually just left the job provided an opportunity to have that happen. And that's actually a funny story too, because again, when a challenge presents itself, it's always an opportunity, it's a possibility. And one day, actually, my boss yelled at me. I didn't like that. I didn't feel like that was appropriate.
Yeah, why?
I didn't feel like
not.
it was right. And, you know, maybe, and it was in front of a manager as well. And maybe in my position, I would, somebody else would have just taken it and been like, okay, you know, I'm really sorry, but I just don't have that kind of in me, or I didn't at that moment. And so I was like, hey, you can't talk to me like that. That's totally inappropriate. And I'm going to leave unless you're going to change the tone that you're speaking to me with. And for her, it was like, what? And my manager too was like, oh gosh. and I was like, yeah, no, I'm serious. I'm going to walk out of here right now if you're not going to like lower your tone with me. So she's like,
Quantum
okay.
shifts sometimes are like that. Yeah.
Yeah. And I remember, you know, just being like, wow, that was so degrading, so demeaning, you know, like at least I stood up for myself. And I went back into my office and I was crying and like feeling so terrible. And then I was like, you know what? That was it. No, I was remembering it. I'm like, wow. But yeah, that was actually such a beautiful opportunity. Yeah, it was an opportunity to say, like, yeah, I'm ready for something else in my life. And I know what it is. I really know what it is. And so actually I had the intention to work with survivors of sexual assault and bring this breath work and alternative therapies that Akahi and I have been sharing and practicing for a long time into that population. And so in saying like, hey guys, I'm not going to work here anymore, thank you very much for the opportunity, but I'm moving on, I started just really trusting in that desire. And Akahi even was like, how are you going to do that? Like, I don't know. It's just going to happen. Like, I know that it's going to happen. And he was like, all right, let's do this. And so just, you know, sharing that intention, and somehow that intention brought others into my life that were ready also to provide opportunity for that. And that was about 3 years ago. And since then, yeah, there's been so much falling into place. It's when we actually really synchronize kind of with our purpose, with our mission, then opportunity, and we're working toward that and we're consistent toward that, then the opportunities come, and we're also ready to respond to the opportunity. Because sometimes the opportunity is there, but we're like, oh gosh, I want to do it, but I'm not ready for it, you know? So we have to also be preparing ourselves, and that's when we're in line, and that's when the goal and the desire also meets the intentional creative energy of the human being, you know? So we work toward our goal and it provides opportunity. But all of that intention has opened up the possibility for now thousands of women all throughout the world, but specifically here in California, and men to receive my services through different nonprofit organizations and programs that I've also been able to create for these organizations that will be long lasting and working with their human trafficking and sexual assault survivors. And that's a population where sometimes a quantum shift is a totally foreign concept. And yet there is where I've been able to see the most profound quantum shifts actually take place.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about that. Yeah, tell us, how is those quantum shifts? Are you seeing the regular people of the world?
Yeah.
As they are going through real challenges, because the community that she's talking about is people that are in the real situations with real challenges, emotionally, mentally, going through a lot. So how you have seen all of the quantum shift there?
Yeah, I mean, again, that's kind of a population of people who maybe didn't know that you could ever feel better, that you could break these chains of abuse or just those dynamics, right? And so part of oftentimes like experiencing trauma, if we don't have the correct tools or ways to process it, it can lead us into unhealthy habits, right? So I work with a lot of women who are survivors of sexual assault or human trafficking, but also have a drug or alcohol addiction. And they're in actually a residential treatment program where they're looking to get better and to find sobriety in their life. But this is where I've seen the most profound impacts of like really feeling in the lowest of low, like there's no possibility, no opportunity. And I've been able to see how with consistent love, with a consistent sleep schedule, with a consistent schedule of therapies, different modalities that focus on self-love, on learning how not to like hate yourself, really, because a lot of people actually hate themselves, and this is actually something that's so damaging to our lives. But and so yeah, consistent practices of self-love, learning how to take care of ourselves, which is something that it sounds simple, but many people don't learn how to do that. And again, especially going back to those generational cycles where maybe addiction has always been a part of the family system, and so yeah, I've been able to see women also with deep healing meditative practices, memory healing, reprogramming, trauma healing, but consistent work at it. People are able to fully transform their life. I'll just highlight, let's say, this one client that I had maybe started working with her about 6 months ago. And when she came into the program, she was addicted to one of the most lethal substances there is. And when she came, she was like gray. Her body had so little vitality in it that it was almost startling to see her. She was really thin and just didn't have a lot of life in her. And I worked with her for 4 months. I think she was in the program for 6 months. So the first 2 months, she was really just like getting used to sleeping in a cozy bed and getting enough rest, and also very much detoxing. And after that, she was kind of like, okay, wow, I came back to life, but it wasn't that she was like in the best state of her life. She had just kind of like come out of that deep hole that she was in. And now she was kind of like ready. She was kind of like just starting to walk for the first time. And so there it was really relearning everything, learning to, again, get enough rest and eat enough and get some exercise and movement. But beyond that, the work that we did, which was a lot around loving herself, a lot around the kind of codependent relationships that she'd been in with men, the kind of abusive situations that she's been in, also related to the addiction, because it's kind of a cycle that bounces back and forth. And through that, the power of affirmation, the power of shifting mindset, the power of cleansing and detoxing the emotions and the memories and the beliefs, I was able to see her come back to life. And now she's like so beautiful. She's working, she has her own place. And it's those things that to some might think like, well, that's kind of normal. Like, shouldn't everybody work and shouldn't everybody have a place to live? But yeah, those are fundamental life things that actually provide a foundation of safety from which we can also then go on to maybe greater feats or, you know, pursuing other goals. But this, I've also seen women who have maybe lost their children due to their addiction, get their kids back and bring them back into a loving and prosperous home where they're also, you know, keeping things together and structure, and where they were maybe never experienced that as a child are now able to, after that kind of long path, offer that to their children. That, and, you know, success stories like coming from that experience or coming from being trafficked maybe to starting her own business or starting her own nonprofit to help other women who have gone through experiences like her. So all of these I consider really profound and huge quantum shifts.
Yeah, they are.
And it's beautiful and inspiring to witness and also to be a part of, because I also acknowledge the uniqueness of what I'm able to share with them, and so do they. And so you can also maybe feel, or you are already in that frequency, you know, you acknowledge this as a possibility. Maybe you already share these kinds of gifts with people, or you're aware too, you know, of the importance of loving yourself and caring for yourself. But this is such a beautiful thing to be able to, once we find that in ourselves, also share with others, so that those quantum shifts can be happening for all of us, you know, continually upgrading ourselves and the community around us.
And as you see, we all are experiencing. So there is a quantum shift is available for all of us as soon as we step into it. We take the commitment, you know, and to become better, just to take responsibility and control of our lives, right? And that's, for example, Camila did it with her job. She did it with many stages of her life. I also had my own quantum shifts that I have been sharing with you. And she's also talking about other people in their real life, like you know, that are having situations that they have come out of those situations and experienced quantum shifts that are significant for them, you know. And what is significant for some maybe is not so significant for others, right? Because we are all having different experiences in our lifetime.
Yeah.
But at any way, if it is significant and it is elevating you, that is awesome. That is a quantum shift, because you can already be successful or be already healthy, happy, but you want to stay, you know, make sure that you are pioneering, you know, on top of everything and be really enhanced in a quantum way. So you, us, everyone that is ready to experience a quantum shift and to take the steps and to invest also themselves into it, because, you know, these people invest into themselves. We have invested into it, time, love, commitment, and just focus, you know, because it's all about us. You know, we are not committing to anything else than just ourselves. So it's actually pretty fun to commit to yourself, because it's what you have, right? So anyone that is ready to commit to its own evolution and its wellness, it can achieve it by using the right tools. And the tools that we have found with Camila, we have created, and that now we have been applying through retreats, workshops, healing courses, and now also into the actual society, the real, you know, organizations that are working with people that is in all different status of life, right? Because as Camila also mentioned that she's working with people that is into this population, she also has been working with people that is in the higher ranks of the same organizations. And in my case, also, I have been working with doctors. I have been working here in Los Gatos, that is the Silicon Valley in California, with a group of doctors, doing the same work and healing what they couldn't heal through these techniques of breathwork. So the quantum shift is in your hands. And today I want to invite Camila so that she opens to you all the possibilities, right? And give you diversity so that you can understand that it's all about you changing your perspective, taking control. And instead of seeing things from eyes of judgment or fear or lack or not on trust in yourself, you change those lenses, or you clean your lenses and you replace those lenses from new ones that you can see yourself healthy, vibrant, powerful, skillful, beautiful, handsome, because you are that. You are that. And from that place, you are a magnet.
Yeah.
You are a magnet, a powerful magnet. And when you are a magnet, you become unstoppable. And Camila is escalating in her life. We also, as a couple, have escalated. So individually, she have escalated. I myself individually also escalated in so many ways. And together also as a couple, escalating, and also as a family, And as we as a family elevate, we also are able to transmit this to other people, and elevate the humanity. And that's the beauty of this quantum shift, right? So you are seeing the potential. This is very powerful. And of course, we cannot give you all the length of like Camila is saying, 6 months or 4 months, 3 months, working to really help you rewire completely your approach to life. But we can give you the inspiration in these 5 days, give you tools for you to start, to redirect your attention towards the goal that you want and experience your gradual quantum shift with the tools that we are going to share with you, right? So for example, yesterday we used tools to remove and clear all what was bothering our mind and quantum shift our mind towards a new state in which we have clarity, peace, fearless about our decisions, and just more serenity to face our life from the mind, mental control, right? And it was amazing work. We were able to collect all the density of the thoughts and shrink the weight of those thoughts and fade it out. Yes, and then we just breathe it out. So we want to do something like that today, a different path, always different, but we want to focus today in the emotions, because we want to, as I mentioned yesterday, through our work and what we do is that we just don't not focus only on the physical, but the work that we do is very focused into the psychological, the mental, the energetic aspects of the being that also reach the body very fast when it's done properly with the right tools. So that's what we have been going through, different aspects of the being, the mind yesterday, today, quantum shifting the emotions. And as we're going to progress to the next days, we're going to quantum shift a body, to heal the body, quantum shift also our energy field, to take our light body to the Merkaba state, the Samadhi state. So we're going to progress gradually in this 5-day challenge. And before we start with the next practice, thank you so much for being here. This is so nice, to have you here.
It's so fun. Thank you so much for having me, and it's so nice to share with all of you. And I just want to say one last little thing. To experience these shifts, it doesn't actually require that we change our whole life or do drastic things.
Yes.
Actually, the most lasting changes are the most simple ones, and they're really lifestyle, mentality, emotional types of changes that have the lasting, most profound impact. So don't be also discouraged, or think like, wow, to make any kind of real change in my life, I'm gonna have to do so many things, or it's gonna be so hard. It's actually not. It's it's going to just require a little bit of self-love, a little bit of dedication toward yourself, and making simple, everyday little shifts that will actually build upon and make your life something that you love. So thanks so much, everybody. I'm gonna leave you so that you can focus now on the practice.
Okay.
¿Cierto?
Yeah.
Or
you
no?
want, you can stay also.
Oh.
You're invited.
I thought
It's up to you. You're busy.
Okay.
I'm just checking here. I was going to tell you guys to share any comment, and to share what you think about all this amazing conversation, and what you found within you to be that quantum shift that you are looking forward to continue to experience with us today emotionally. What are those emotions that are sabotaging your happiness, blocking your joy, your evolution, your capacity to experience a quantum shift in a way that is emotional towards the love in ways that are real, that are effortless, and that are from within. So share with us. I'm going to check just here for a little short moment if everything is going well in the transmission. Yes, and it seems that everything is going well. Perfect. Excellent. So emotions. Oh my God, so many emotions in life, right?
Yeah.
Since childhood, teenager, adulthood, all the time we are just living in emotions. We are emotional beings, right? Some people is even more emotional, others are a bit more neutral, but we all are emotional. Within the depth of ourselves, we all are emotional. And that is beautiful. That is beautiful of the human being, that we are able to feel, to express, to feel emotions, and those emotions, energies that also show us life, what is to be human, right? But also there are moments in which there have been many of the lower emotions, and that is what it is. Sometimes there are countries, or there are populations, or they are just families, or ourselves through our life found ways that to create a foundation that is in the lower energies, mentally, emotionally, psychologically, always thinking from the lower energies, from the lacking, from the victimism, the wanting, the needing something, and that is what it is. That's a world. That's society. That is, in many cases, that can happen, right? But that doesn't mean that that is your destiny. That doesn't mean that because you were born in a country, or your upbringing was surrounded with certain kind of information or energies or limitations, that has to be the end of your life. No, because we can always put a little break right there and say, okay, this is not going my way. I'm sorry, everyone. I'm sorry, but this is not how it's my way, and I'm going to take control of my life. I'm going to get control of my life back and experience your own quantum shift, right? And as we live in emotions, sometimes we can be just the response of the emotions that we carry. We can just living as a residue of an emotional trauma, or we have been just we are just like living from the emotions. And when we have been in the lower emotions, we are transmitting those lower emotions as we live daily, right? And when we are transmitting those lower emotions, life doesn't go well. It's difficult for you to have doors open, because when you are in the lower emotions, people can feel that, and people will close doors, or they're going to avoid, when somebody is in the lower energies. So we want to do a conscious decision. If you are in the lower energies, okay, I'm going to consciously take some time, take some commitment towards myself seriously, and I'm going for it, and I'm going to see how in 30 days my life can change. If I focus my life for 30 days, I know that I can change everything. If I use the tools, if I use what I'm learning, if I give myself a good attitude, you know, and I wake up in a new state and I do what I require to do, I want to change my life. That is already a decision to experience a quantum shift.
Yes,
right?
definitely.
And that is beautiful. If you gift yourself that, that's awesome. We travel around the world helping people that they come to our events to experience quantum shifts, you know, and they do it because they feel that to be important for their lives, right? And at the same way, you have your emotions that you want to quantum shift because you feel that is important. And I want today to work in that with you, to help you through a very precise technique in which we are going to just breathe. Do the easy thing, with nothing that is a need out there, more than just our natural body. What we have innate is enough. You are enough to heal yourself. You are enough to rewire, reprogram, and experience your quantum shift.
Yeah.
So, and what we have that is innately accessible is the breath, and is what the masters, the teachers, through many years, centuries, and all over the world, they have been preaching and teaching, you know, and and that's right what you have right now, and you can use it right now to shift your emotions towards just okay. You don't need to change to be super happy or excited or ecstasies of joy. No, I just at least to be okay,
Yeah,
to be
exactly.
content. You know, I'm okay.
Mm-hmm.
That is enough to start to escalate in the quantum shift.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we think that we have to shift and be happy right now, you know, and we force ourselves to be happy. But no, just by being content, by being okay, by being
Yeah.
okay with yourself in the present moment,
Yeah.
that is the best way because that's already a very awesome energy.
That's huge.
And from there you escalate, right? So let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's breathe. I invite you guys, all of you that are watching this right now with me, get comfortable. Sit or lay down at the way that you feel able to breathe deeper, to focus in yourself. And I'm going to guide you towards breath work technique. Okay. You want to stay for the breath work or you want to do anything else? You're welcome to stay. But
Okay.
we have also our kids, you
Yeah.
know, so if you want to go check the kids, that's okay.
I'll go check on them. I'll let you guys breathe and then I'll come back at the end
Perfect.
to check back in. Okay.
Thank
Enjoy,
you. Thank you for
everybody.
joining us.
So nice to be here. Do you want me to scoot this out?
Yeah.
Or just
So let's do a reset. Perfect. Let me know if you are ready. Hi. Share any questions in the chat. Should we wear it on? What should we excited you are to be with us. Yeah, always happy to read your comments. Oh, perfect. Okay, how is this? Is this better? Let me know. How is this? All good now? Perfect. Let me know. Oh, wonderful. Oh, good. Excellent, everyone. Thanks for responding and for sharing in the comments. I'm just sharing this. If you are here, you are lucky. You are so lucky to be here, accessing this content.
Yeah, this content is very special, very secret, and not much people in the world know. Actually, nobody knows these techniques. Yeah, this is like very special secret techniques that you're gonna get to experience and benefit from. Yeah. So appreciate and give yourself the opportunity to immerse yourself in this experience that you are being facilitated, right? Because this is awesome. This is something that is priceless, really. And we have people that come from all over the world to our retreats to pay thousands of dollars for this work that we are going to share with you guys. Yes, and they are happy to pay. It's so worth it, really. Like that's why we have so many comments. You can go to our website and you can see so many testimonials from people from so many events and year by year, just experiencing amazing results with our work, right? And they fly. They just move from all directions. And talking about this, actually, before we go into the session, let me tell you that we are going to be in Costa Rica. We are just starting to ignite our events for this year, as here in the States we are, getting out of COVID. So we are igniting new events, and the next event is on June in Costa Rica. Amazing vacation, all planned, all included. Just not the flight, but all the lodging, all the activities, the touristic places that we want to visit, the process itself. The whole retreat is going to be on June 12th, Costa Rica 2021, for the 8-day breatharian process retreat. Okay, so just for you to know, and if you are interested into going to Costa Rica, let me know, and I'm going to paste the link for you to check and join us if you're ready for the quantum leap there in beautiful location in nature in Costa Rica. That is so amazing. You are ready for the practice? I am ready. Let's do it. Yeah, let's start. Few deep breaths. We're gonna focus our attention and work in our emotions, to shift our emotions, to begin to be happy, content, and joyful right now. Let's take 3 deep breaths to ground, to connect with ourselves and be present here in the technique. And now let's begin in 3, 2, 1. Start breathing through the nose. As you breathe, focus into expanding your lungs and chest. Breathe, inflating your lungs all the way like balloons. Notice that breath by breath, you can take in higher amounts of oxygen, energy, life force into your body. And as you breathe, you are more and more connected with yourself in the present. Inhaling and exhaling the energy of the present, disconnected from the past, disconnect from the future. Wonderful. Now that you are here, continue breathing and begin to focus your attention towards your emotion. Yes, focus in your heart, your chest, or any part of your body where you feel that you are storing emotions. And you are going to identify emotions that you are carrying that are unhealthy, negative emotions. And I am going to say some of those emotions. And if you resonate with any of these emotions that I'm going to mention, just identify them and collect those emotions from within you. Acknowledge them. And by you acknowledge them, you are collecting those emotions. So let's begin. Breathe deeply into your heart, into your emotional body, and collect any emotion of anger towards yourself or others. Yes, be honest with yourself. If you have been experiencing emotions of anger, acknowledge them and just collect them. Bring them here to a place where you can toss them. Now continue breathing and collect any emotion of sadness. Yes, if you have been feeling sad, just acknowledge and collect all the sadness within you and put it into a place, encapsulate it into a place. Now continue collecting emotions of sorrow, betrayal, abandon. Yes, collect any emotion of fear, fear about anything, fear about failing, fear about not failing. Yes, continue breathing and collect any emotion that you feel to be negative or unhealthy for you. And now that you are collecting those emotions, if you maybe feel any stress in your body or pain or any memory comes to your mind related to these emotions, collect them too. Yes, collect the memory, collect the physical sensations of these emotions, and put them all together into a place, encapsulate them. And now that you see the collection of all those emotions into one place, you're going to take a few deep breaths and prepare to shrink all the energy from those emotions and simplify, minimize all that place that contains those emotions. Take deep breaths and prepare to release those emotions. And now you are going to see all those emotions collected into a place, and now you are going to shrink that place, that capsule, that container of emotions, and you want to make it smaller. Breathe. And as you breathe, you transfer your love, and your love is shrinking all those emotions. Yes, share with yourself energy of love, and the love is shrinking all the emotions. And breath by breath, you see that all those emotions are losing power. And as they lose power, your love, your light, your energy is shrinking them so little, so tiny, that they have completely lose power and they are fading out. And you continue breathing deeply. And as you exhale through your mouth. Refreshing your emotions. And breath by breath, you are relieving yourself, emptying completely. Breathe with intensity. Expanding you. Gaining new energy into your emotions. Energizing your emotional body with new fresh energy for the quantum shift to take place. You can put your hands on your heart, on top of your chest. And breathe deeply. Expanding your emotional body. Inhale with intensity. Expanding your chest. Expanding your emotions to feel love. Connected. Enhanced with new energies of love. And you can bring a smile to your face. Inhale deeply. And feel the whole quantum shift taking place, expanding you. Expanding your emotions. Feel the energy vibrating through your body. Feel your chest supercharged with a whole new energy, a new emotional energy. And begin to relax your breathing. And now take a deep breath. And you will take an exhalation. And then you will stop breathing. And just feel the energy in your emotions. And when you feel ready, connecting with your inner source of self-love, joy, effortless, natural joy, you're going to begin to breathe. Joyful to be alive, emotionally, quantum shifted towards hope, love, emotional resilience. And your new state is the foundational energy of well-being. Yes, you are in well-being, emotional well-being. And now you have all this space in your emotions that is available for you to receive new, healthy, happy emotions for your life. Yes. And now prepare to finish this practice, breathing, feeling your chest expanding, your body fully grounded and energized. And from your body, you're going to take a few more deep breaths. And then you're going to incorporate back to your natural state. And you're going to enjoy life, carrying these new emotions and fully open to receive the healthy emotions of life. Wonderful. We have finished this practice. Take your time to incorporate. You might feel tingling, vibration, expansion, joy, love, so many outcomes and benefits. Enjoy them. Those are for you. And as soon as you are back, please write for all of us how you feel, because we want to know how your emotional quantum shift has taken place and how you feel right now and the difference from before and after this practice. Wow, so much energy. I feel buzzing. Excellent. Just checking here. I'm reading your comments. You are doing so good. gradually advancing. Yes, advancing in your progress, in your quantum shift. Gradual benefits are gatekeepers of greater benefits. Sometimes we only need to redirect a little bit the trajectory of our life to experience success and well-being. And that little redirection is the quantum shift back into track. Oh, wonderful. Tracy, Alexandra, Mr. Junior, Jay, Monica, all of you joining me right now, Leah, Gabriela, Bawana, Mirka, always so happy to have you here. Maybe it's the first time or you have been here before. We're just having fun, enjoying, sharing. Amazing, amazing content today. Super happy to be with all of you. Babanai, you feel so strong in your heart, like, okay, that might be the emotions that are being released, you know, the stress, the nerves that are sometimes shut down by the emotion. So just let it effortlessly relieve through you. Sometimes the emotions are very attached to the body organs. So just relax into the energy of the healing session that we have experienced to quantum shift the emotions, right? You feel peaceful, happy, love, and a smile. You are feeling vibration and tingling in your palms. Thank you so much. You are feeling lighter. You are feeling lighter. Excellent. Oh, so good. Just checking your comments. Super happy. This is day 3 of the Quantum Shift Challenge. These videos are going to be available only for a few days. This content is going to be then taken back and just set in our private content in our membership sites. So make sure to watch this all the way and share it with your friends. Share it with any person that you feel that can benefit from this work. Okay? And I'm looking forward to see you tomorrow because the journey continues. Day 4, tomorrow, Saturday, in the Quantum Shift Challenge. Continue sharing all your comments via the Facebook group, here in YouTube as well. I'm going to read them later and respond if it is possible for me, but always read. I love you so much for all the commitment that you are putting towards yourself, taking these steps for your quantum shift. And thank you for trusting me to join me in this day 3. Looking forward for another day tomorrow. See you then. Ciao.